Think about the money you interact with daily, whether it's the cash nestled in your wallet, ready for a quick purchase, or the digital balance displayed on your banking app, representing your hard-earned savings. This traditional financial system is centrally managed. Governments and banks wield significant control, acting as the ultimate authority over your funds. They dictate the rules and regulations that govern how money is created, distributed, and used. When you send money to a friend or family member, the bank acts as an intermediary, meticulously moving numbers from your account to theirs within their internal system. The entire system hinges on trust. Trust in these established institutions to manage your money responsibly and securely. We place our faith in their ability to maintain the integrity of the financial system. Bitcoin offers a radical departure from this conventional model. Bitcoin flips this idea. It's a form of digital money that operates independently, eliminating the need for banks or government oversight to function effectively. Instead of relying on a central bank, every user participating in the Bitcoin network has the potential to hold a copy of the complete and transparent history of all transactions ever made, a shared, distributed ledger accessible to all. This inherent decentralization makes it exceptionally difficult, if not nearly impossible, for any single entity to manipulate or cheat the system. With Bitcoin, you possess the power to make entries in this public ledger, contributing to the ongoing record of transactions. This ability is secured and verified by a secret digital key, a unique cryptographic identifier that only you possess. This key empowers you to sign transactions, facilitating the secure transfer of your digital money across the network. The currency itself is essentially a record of these transactions, meticulously tracked and verified over time. These transactions are chained together in a verifiable and immutable way, forming a secure and transparent history. Bitcoin enables a global payment system that operates without the control of any single entity, fostering a more open and accessible financial landscape. This inherent decentralization makes it remarkably resistant to censorship and external interference. However, this also means that you bear the responsibility for safeguarding your own security. If you lose your private key, there's no central authority to recover it, and your funds could be irretrievably lost. Therefore, understanding the intricacies of this system is the crucial first step to truly appreciating the revolutionary nature of Bitcoin and why it stands apart as a unique and transformative cryptocurrency. Think of Bitcoin's ledger like a shared notebook among friends, a record of all transactions visible to everyone in the group. It's a transparent and communal way to keep track of who owns what, tracking who owes whom, ensuring that all debts and credits are meticulously documented. This shared record is the backbone of the Bitcoin network. If someone tries to add a fake entry, attempting to manipulate the balance or create money out of thin air, everyone else can spot it, because they all have a copy of the notebook and can verify the authenticity of each transaction. But how do you prove each entry is real? How do you ensure that the person making the transaction is who they claim to be? That's where digital signatures come in, providing a secure and verifiable way to authorize transactions. A digital signature is like a unique, unforgeable stamp, a cryptographic mark that proves the transaction originated from you, created with your private key, a secret only you know. This key is like a password that unlocks your Bitcoin and allows you to send it. When you send Bitcoin, initiating a transfer to another user, you use your private key to sign the transaction, creating a digital signature that accompanies the payment, making it unique and tamper-proof, ensuring that no one can alter the details of the transaction after it's been signed. Anyone can verify your signature using your public key, confirming that the transaction was indeed authorized by you. But no one can forge it or guess your private key, because the cryptography behind it is incredibly secure. This system ensures only the true owner can authorize payments, preventing fraud and unauthorized access to funds. Each signature is tied to the specific details of the transaction, including the amount, recipient, and timestamp, making copying or altering it impossible, because any change to the transaction would invalidate the signature. This cryptographic proof lets strangers trust the ledger, even if they don't know or trust each other personally. No central authority needed. It's a system built on mathematical certainty and cryptographic security. Cryptography is the magic behind Bitcoin's security. It doesn't hide transactions. Instead, it proves ownership and prevents fraud using math anyone can verify. One key tool is the hash function, a digital fingerprint generator. A hash turns any data into a short, unique string. Change even a comma, and the hash changes completely. In Bitcoin, transactions are bundled into blocks, and each block gets its own hash. If anyone tampers with a block, its hash changes, exposing the fraud instantly. Each new block contains the hash of the previous one, forming a secure chain, the blockchain. To alter a past transaction, a cheater would have to redo the hashes for every block after it, which is nearly impossible. This clever use of cryptography makes the Bitcoin ledger secure and unchangeable. Trust shifts from institutions to math. Traditional banks keep a single master record. If their server fails, everyone's money is at risk. Bitcoin avoids this by distributing the ledger across thousands of computers worldwide. When you make a transaction, it's broadcast to the entire network, not a central server. Each node checks your signature and balance, then adds your transaction to a list of pending ones. With so many copies, there's no single point to attack or control. To corrupt the system, someone would have to alter the ledger on most computers at once, an almost impossible feat. This redundancy and transparency make Bitcoin resilient. But how does the network agree on a single shared history? That's where mining comes in. The blockchain keeps everyone's copy of the ledger in sync. Each block is a new page in Bitcoin's history, sealed with a cryptographic hash of the previous block. This chain structure makes the ledger permanent and tamper-proof. To change a transaction in an old block, a forger would have to recalculate the hashes for that block and every block after it. But there's a catch. Creating a valid hash for a new block requires solving a tough mathematical puzzle, proof of work. This process demands massive computational power. A forger would need to outpace the entire network to rewrite history, which is practically impossible. The longest chain always wins, representing the most work and the honest record. This digital chain of trust is what secures Bitcoin. It's why the system can function without a central authority. Who builds the blockchain? Miners. Miners gather transactions, verify them, and bundle them into candidate blocks. To add a block, they must solve a mathematical puzzle, proof of work, by finding a special hash. This requires trillions of guesses per second, making it a race of computing power. The first miner to solve the puzzle broadcasts their block. Others verify and add it to their ledgers. The network adjusts the puzzle's difficulty, so a new block is found about every 10 minutes. Why do miners do this? They earn new bitcoins, the block reward, and collect transaction fees. These incentives keep the network secure and running. Mining is the engine that powers Bitcoin's decentralized system. Digital money faces the double spending problem. What stops someone from copying and spending the same coin twice? Bitcoin's public time-stamped blockchain solves this. If someone tries to spend the same Bitcoin in two places, miners see both transactions, but only include one in the next block. Once a transaction is in a block, it's confirmed and visible to everyone. Any conflicting transaction is rejected by the network. For big payments, people wait for several more blocks. Each one makes the transaction more secure. To reverse a confirmed transaction, an attacker would need to outpace the entire network, which is nearly impossible. The consensus on the longest chain prevents double spending. This public ordered ledger is what makes digital money work. Trust comes from transparency and math, not middlemen. Bitcoin's design places a strong emphasis on security and decentralization above all else. It's built to be a robust and resilient system, resistant to attacks and single points of failure. But this focus on security and decentralization comes with trade-offs that are important to consider. Transactions are relatively slow compared to traditional payment systems. New blocks are added to the blockchain approximately every 10 minutes, a deliberate choice to ensure network stability. And each block has a limited capacity, meaning it can only hold a certain number of transactions at any given time. This limited capacity can lead to higher transaction fees, especially during periods of high network activity, when demand exceeds the available space in each block. This, in turn, makes using Bitcoin for very small purchases, or microtransactions, often impractical due to the proportionally high fees. Still, despite these limitations, Bitcoin's enduring appeal lies in its global and permissionless nature. Anyone, anywhere in the world, can use Bitcoin without needing permission from a bank, government, or any other central authority. It's also censorship-resistant, a key feature for many users. No single entity can arbitrarily block or freeze your Bitcoin transactions, providing a level of financial autonomy not found in traditional systems. This makes Bitcoin particularly valuable for individuals living under oppressive regimes where financial freedom is limited. It also offers a viable alternative for sending money across international borders, often bypassing traditional banking systems and their associated fees and restrictions. Ultimately, Bitcoin represents an experiment in financial freedom and self-sovereignty. It's a system built on mathematical principles and cryptographic security, rather than relying on trust in established institutions. Its core principles continue to inspire innovation and development in the broader cryptocurrency and blockchain space. And while it may not be the ideal solution for every single payment scenario, its impact is undeniable. Whether Bitcoin ultimately becomes the dominant form of digital money remains to be seen. But Bitcoin has already fundamentally changed how we think about value, ownership, and control in the digital age. It challenges us to critically examine our existing financial systems and rethink the very nature of money itself. And perhaps most importantly, it forces us to confront the question of who should ultimately control our money and our financial lives.